her that she moved around this area, which is absolutely a horrible place to raise children. I mean, with the drugs, with the gangs, with the violence, with the, robbery, I mean, it's a terrible place. I'm trying to get out of Las Vegas, and it's in a situation now where my son's here that I'm almost going to have to stay here just because my son here. So I was very fortunate when I thought she was making the right decision of dropping Kaiser off at my mother's house. My mother has raised 5 children. Um, you know, Raising 5 children, being a single mother and doing what she did is better than most moms can do with raising a single child. She made things work. Now she wasn't perfect by all means, but she did what she had to do, and she provided for us children the best way she could. And so this way, in my thought process, I thought this was the opportunity where at the same time I could leave Vegas or maybe get my stuff transferred to be up by my son and give him the guidance and the individual treatment, and attention he needed. Because I think Kaiser is really seeking for attention right now in some of his behaviors. If anybody hasn't heard the full background story, Kaiser is in a very sticky situation. My son has already he already vapes, he's already done, and he's 10 years old. He's 10. And for CPS not to investigate this or take this serious, it's kind of aggravating me at the same time. And especially just getting out of a very toxic marriage, going right back into a relationship where a man's living with her again, so that's her life. She can do what she has to do, but I believe that most people look at that as, a little bit unstable, and not getting her priorities straight. I don't want to give anybody any false pretext of what happened. Supposedly this happened. She's denying it. Supposedly CPS was involved. She's denying it. I have no clue. I don't want to make any allegations on, I just know what my son has physically told me. My son told me he has gotten caught, vaping. He told me he has done. Me and him have a very open relationship because he knows I'm not going to lay down the hammer on him unless it's something serious that I can't correct. And if I'm not in his life where I can correct it or keep a watch on him 24/7, it gives me no right to tell him, or discipline him. I think the best situation right now is, for him to get that individual attention, especially with me and his father. I wish in certain situations, the state, CPS, or in court system or something actually, took the evidence or took the investigation, took it serious. But I think they only dig down so deep and then they close the situation out. And then it becomes, right now, 8 years later, where the kid's getting in trouble, doing drugs. He's used to having, whether it's chaos or peace or any situation. I told him he needed time to adjust at my mom's house because he was missing home. And I said, just give it some time, give it a couple weeks. I said, you don't understand how fortunate you are. I said, you're in a place where you get one-on-one attention. You can start a new life. You can start making new friends. You can, everything is new to you to make things correct. And so I was really excited for him. I was excited, for me and his relationship to start rekindling too, because I had the chance to hopefully get a transfer and go up there and be with him. So I could, have that one-on-one time with him.
How long was he actually in Tennessee?
Just 2 weeks. He was already enrolled to school. He was in school his third day, which was Friday. And Jenelle walked up there and pulled him out of school saying he needed to go to the hospital.
Why?
Because she said my mom started all this drama. Supposedly allegedly a neighbor called CPS on her, and she demanded yelling and screaming because supposedly a message was sent to my mother about the CPS calls, saying their concerns and stuff. And she demanded my mom give her the name. I don't know if my mom or didn't, but she hung up the phone, and I sent her a text message. She wrote me a few nasty things back. That's why I wanted you to call me on this phone. But she wrote something about protecting and stuff, and this is just the brim of it. I said, heard a different story. My mom said you were just yelling at her. I said, and don't throw stones in glass houses, Missy, because she was talking about protection over Kaiser and stuff. I said, I'm sure I can point a finger with all the abuse, abandonment, and the hell you have put him through. Now he is 10, smoking vapes, breaking your leg while being intoxicated. Like I said, I can keep my mouth shut about a lot of things. And believe me, there is plenty more. The kid is highly neglected, and you are so concerned about what the media says and who's stalking you. I said, it is yourself. I said, is it for yourself or him? If you weren't so prideful, you should have left him in my care a long, long time ago. You're going to screw this kid over for the rest of his life, and you don't care. You don't take the time to understand him like I do. I hope she gets her crap together, but she needs to stop this blame game and blaming everybody else, especially my mom who didn't do anything, especially when Kaiser was in as, pretty darn stable environment. I mean, especially with the family up there, my brother, my sister, nephews, nieces, people who could support him. And he was, playing with Ollie, which is his cousin, my nephew. He was, going over to Casey's in my brother's house, Casey's my brother's wife, especially when he was going over there and they were giving him long life lessons and stuff that he can grow and flourish, and things where he can reflect back on himself. Am I really making the right decision? I see how these people are living. I see the stability. I see the tranquility. I see the peace. I see the happiness, the laughter, the love, the environment that he needed to be in. And, besides making these impulsive decisions, just ripping him out of school and then going somewhere else, the kid, is being tossed around. I mean, he's moved more times in 10 years than I've almost moved, or almost anybody's moved in their lifetime. It becomes a unselfish need and a selfish need, and she has to start looking within herself what's best for Kaiser, especially Kaiser, my son, what's best for him. And I was, I forget who I was talking to the other day, but I was like, it might have been at the gym or something. I was like, if you can't raise kids, don't raise kids. And I know people sometimes make a mistake and they try their best, but if they have another parent or somebody else willing to invest that time and the effort in a kid so he has a successful future, let them. I know it hurts. I know it sucks. I know somewhere inside you want to say you're inadequate, but that's the time you need to know what's selfish and unselfish. And the unselfish need is Kaiser needs attention right now, and he needs in a good environment where he's going to grow in a positive way so he can be a great, attribute to society when he grows up, and not this person who's getting in and out of legal trouble like I have been, or making rash decision, or filling that void with women, or, doing things to fill a certain need we need, that aren't productive to our life or our lifestyle. So, and that's the biggest fear I have, is Kaiser is going to get to this age where it's not going to be all rainbows and gumdrops anymore. There's going to be consequences, and they're not going to be positive consequences. Me trying to have communication with my son is near impossible. Besides that small little gap where she was actually trying to get along with me when she had her separation from David and she came over here to let me see my son, that's the first time. She has always put a barrier between me and my son. I have text messages upon text message asking to speak to my son. Even yesterday, I sent her a text message and I said, I would greatly appreciate if I could talk to my son. And she told me, not right now. And this is what she always does. When we get back to Vegas, you can talk to him. And then I'll text her again, can I talk to my son? Oh, he's busy. Oh, he's sleeping. Oh, he's doing this. So it's not me not trying to reach out or not me trying to make an effort. It's always this barrier, this false barrier that she puts that Kaiser's doing something else that's more important than having a one-on-one discussion with his father.